Hello, good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to an episode of Mindfulness, Sexuality, and Relationships. I'm your host, Anita DeFrancesco, founder of Tantra Wisdom, which is my base group public page, and you can find this podcast and other podcasts on my website, tantrawisdom.com, and throughout all of the Facebook groups and LinkedIn and Twitter and all of that stuff. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Tom Paladino. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Anita.
And Tom, let me tell you a little bit about him. He is the CEO and founder of Scalar Energy to the world. So now this is something new, something I've never heard of. He is a 25-year Scalar Energy researcher. So he has been researching this work for the last 25 years with over 1,000 testimonials. And first, our topic is the role of scalar energy on libido and how it affects the libido. So, Tom, welcome to the show, Tom. How are you today?
I am well. Thanks for the invitation, Anita. It's great to be here.
Yes. So this is something I've never heard of. Today we're going to be talking about the chakras and how this affects the libido and what is it? First, let's just start with how did your path unfold? How did you come into this and discover or invent this, actually?
Okay. Well, scalar energy is not electricity. Let's start with that. And there were some scientists in the past who worked with this unique energy, scalar energy. I think many people might recognize the name Nikola Tesla. So in many ways, I looked at what Tesla was doing, my predecessor, and I tried to duplicate his results. Anyway, long story short, scalar energy is not electricity. Some people might call it chi or mana or life force energy. The term in vogue today is scalar energy, so I am working with scalar energy instruments that control this zero-point energy, this chi or this mana. And what we can do with it is incredible. It's much more versatile than that of electricity, and we'll explore those facts today.
Okay, so this sounds, so from what I understand, scalar energy is an intelligence that instructs the body to experience pleasure, orgasm, and sexual desire. So your path unfolded from years back. I mean, you've been in this for 25 years, you say, right? What
That's
have
correct.
you? Okay, what led you to get involved in the healing work?
I knew that there was just incredible potential here, Anita, because it's a versatile energy, and it's an energy that can easily be used to improve mental, physical, sexual, spiritual health. So I knew that if I could develop these instruments and then not only harness the energy, but with my ability to project, or if you will, to work with that energy to improve human health, I knew I could make significant improvement for mankind. And I'm doing that today. I'll go on record. We've had great success with human health by way of these scalar energy instruments.
Now, you said this is caused by a germ, and the approach to the work is by way of a photograph.
That's correct.
I just want to let our audience know that you're offering 15 days of free treatment for anyone who's listening to this podcast and calls the number at the end, that you're offering 15 days of free treatment. How long is a treatment? Let's talk about how is it caused by a germ. From what I understand, people with HIV and hepatitis have been cured?
Correct. That's correct. A scalar energy instrument can be used to break apart a virus or break apart a bacterium. So people frequently come to me, and sometimes they have sexually transmitted diseases, say herpes or HIV virus, and we are able to destroy, to break apart a virus with this instrument, this scalar energy instrument. So not only can we heighten, not only can we accentuate the libido in people, but we can also destroy many of the pathogens that are significantly the cause and the underlying mechanism of sexually transmitted diseases. Everything from syphilis can be cured to herpes to hepatitis viral infection to HIV viral infection. So this is a game changer. Scalar energy is able to eradicate the pathogens that cause sexually transmitted disease.
I find this to be very interesting, and it's just by way of photograph is what your instrument is, or what is that instrument?
That's correct. When I'm working with scalar energy, remember, it's not electricity, so it works under different laws of science, if you will. So a scalar energy instrument can find somebody and treat somebody by way of their photograph. So all we need is a photograph of a person, some photograph of their skin, if you will. And with that said, when I receive that photograph of a person, I can send a scalar energy signal into that person. And in so doing, we can break apart a germ that causes a sexually transmitted disease. For instance, syphilis is caused by the bacterium Treponema pallidum. And in so doing, we can break apart that spirochete, that bacterium, Treponema, by way of scalar energy. So this is the game changer that I'm speaking of, the ability to eradicate pathogens in the human body by way of scalar energy.
So now this is without medicine or pills, and how is the medical community and the medical world reacting to this?
I don't think they really quite understand what I'm doing yet, because it's so groundbreaking, it's so novel, it's different. In the future, I would anticipate their support. I would anticipate them working with me hand in hand. I would hope so, but we haven't gotten to that point yet.
Now, here's a question for you. I'm a former, years back, X-ray radiation technologist. Does this involve any radiation? Now, I know when we had people come in with cancer and things of that sort, we would use the radiation. It's basically a photograph in a way. An X-ray is a picture. Is this anything to do with radiation or digital?
No.
How is it nothing like that?
Yeah, it's nothing like that, because it's a different energy spectrum. Frankly, in a scalar energy spectrum, you do not have any radioactivity. You don't even have isotopes. Everything is in the stable state, so to speak. So you don't have any breakdown of nuclei in the scalar energy environment. Everything is in a perfect state, a state of coherence. So that's the beauty of scalar energy. There is no pollution. There's no radioactivity. It is not electromagnetic in character. So it is a safe energy to use.
So it is it's part of the natural energy of the body, the chi, the life force.
Yes. And chi and life force is not radioactive. To the contrary, it's the very cause of life. If we did not have chi or prana or life force energy, nobody could survive.
Interesting. So how long, when someone gets this photographic session, how long is it on their body, the instrument?
When I work with people, 24 hours a day. The process is as such. There's 3 modalities. For 1 hour, I eradicate germs from the body. The second hour, I perform a chakra balancing. Now, when I'm performing a chakra balancing, I have noticed that many people, when they have this download of scalar energy, we see an increase in their libido, or with many people, it's simply an increase in their awareness of life. A scalar energy chakra balancing will reprogram the brain waves as well as the 7 chakras. And in so doing, many people simply have a greater sense of life, a greater sense of vitality, including a greater sense of libido, or a greater sense of sexual pleasure. All of that is by way of this download of scalar energy into the body. So that's the second modality, which is a chakra balancing. And then the final modality, we're able to assemble vitamins and antioxidants and amino acids inside the human body. We call that our nutrient program. Scalar energy as instructive energy can actually assemble the molecular structure of antioxidants and vitamins inside the body. We perform that function 22 hours a day. So with the 3 modalities, the germ cleansing, the chakra balancing, and the nutrient program, we treat people 24 hours a day, and everybody's health improves on account of these standardized programs.
So tell me about some of the unique experiences you've witnessed when working with scalar energy in the lab. I know I see a lot of I'm reading your testimonials here, and a lot of interesting stuff about psoriasis, about HIV, and different things that testimonies that you have treated. And I'm looking at the before and after pictures. It's just amazing. I mean, So tell me a little bit about maybe some of that, some of these unique experiences. What has been one of the greatest ones? Is it the herpes or?
Well, that's a good point. I'll go on record by the process that we have developed, the modality. Scalar energy allows us to easily eradicate the herpes virus. Now, we can prove that by way of scientific test. People will send us their diagnostic test after they've been treated with scalar energy. And those tests invariably prove that we have eradicated, we have broken apart the herpes virus. In other words, there's no viral load left after we treat people for herpes virus. Now, subsequently, people return to health. They no longer have blisters. They no longer have skin sensitivity or rashes. Their nerves heal over a period of time. So imagine what this means to mankind. The ability to cure people of pathogenic disease, in this case of the herpes virus, to do it all by way of light, energy, which is painless. It's a safe energy. And to do it by way of a photograph. People do not have to be physically present. We can treat people at a distance. At a distance around the world. I frequently treat people in Europe, in Asia, in Africa. There's no distance.
You do it over the phone, or how are you doing it, or just by the electromagnetic waves?
By way of the scalar energy instrument, which can reach a person anywhere in the world by way of their photograph. So quite frankly, anybody in the world can submit a photograph to us of their skin, and the scalar energy instrument, acting like a satellite, can send a signal to that person anywhere in the world.
Oh, interesting. But you do have to see them initially the one time.
No. See, that's the beauty of it, Anita. I don't diagnose, and per se, I'm not a physician or a nurse. I am a researcher. So my instrument does all the work. So when people come to me, I have the ability to eradicate over 400,000 species of germs in their body. And this is a blanket approach. This is a universal approach. Everybody that comes to me, I treat identically. And again, my ability presently is to eradicate over 400,000 species of germs inside the body.
So it's in the nervous system. It's safe to say that the nervous system is a big part of this.
Yes, that's correct. When we're speaking about the herpes virus, we realize the herpes virus has an affinity for nerves. And in so doing, we're able to reach into the body, actually from head to toe, so to speak, and we're able to destroy the herpes virus inside the human body, no matter where the herpes virus is hiding.
So the client that would come to you, they would have to know what they want to have treated. They discuss that with you in the consultation of, hey, I have psoriasis, or I have herpes, or I have HIV, and I need help.
Yes, many people will call me initially and we'll discuss matters, but some people, and you could appreciate this, for privacy reasons, do not want to speak about their illness to anybody. They simply want to undergo the treatments. And by virtue of the fact that we can destroy germs and destroy germs easily, many people simply sign up for my 15-day free trial without any type of consultation, and they simply want their germs to be eradicated. Now, and many people, they're so confident in our modalities, and some people are, if you will, desirous of being private. They don't want to share their medical history, and I don't force that upon them, and I respect that. So many people come to us, and they simply say, treat me. I want to feel better, and we do so.
So you're just, okay. So, and whatever the disease or the germs that they have in the body, they start to move through. Let's talk about the transmutation. I know you were talking about like sexual transmutation. In Tantra, as a Tantra teacher, we teach people how to contain and cultivate sexual energy so that they can last longer during sex or have much more powerful, less depletion of the body. And there's a form of what we call sexual transmutation, transmuting your desires, allowing yourself to be much more wholesome. Now, I see something here that you're saying. It is the belief and statement that the scalar energy is capable of transmuting all pathogens, thus presenting the world with a cure for thousands of pathogenic diseases. So maybe talk about the transmutation here. How is that happening?
Everything in nature has a specific geometric molecular structure, if you will. And scalar energy allows us to access that geometric structure and change the chemical bonds. And it's so simple. Once you realize that everything is held together by bonds, those chemical bonds can be altered, transmuted, changed. So you can change one physical form into another. And that's what we do with scalar energy. Let's go back to the herpes virus. If people approach me and they say, I have the herpes virus, the simple answer is this, Anita. You simply change the molecular formula. You transmute it. So the herpes virus is fragmented into smaller physical forms, such as amino acids and proteins, etc. So you take an infectious virus and you break it apart, or you transmute it into smaller molecular forms that are harmless. So we do not annihilate matter. I can't do that. We simply rearrange matter. That's the beauty of what we're working with. This is the easy way to address disease. And many people understand that that process of transmutation is an everyday event in our lives. Without transmutation, we could not survive. So transmutation is now being recognized as a physical process. We see this in all of biological life.
And interesting, in Tantra, we teach people through breathing how to transmute. And it's a similar process, but of course yours is much more involved with the germ and the disease and the pathogens. Ours is just more teaching people how to learn to understand their energy and contain it. And it's more of an energetic thing rather than an electromagnetic force of an approach.
Yeah,
right?
And you're right. And let me say this, that many cultures around the world understand this process of chi or transmutation. They realize that this is indeed a reality. And the more we can grasp that fact, that you can not only transmute, say, physical forms, but you can transmute, so to speak, your emotions, from anger into happiness, this will lead to a better world. This is what I am driving towards. This is my goal. It's not only to cure the world of pathogenic disease, but to use scalar energy to improve our mental outlook, to improve our spiritual outlook, in which we take the bad, the negative, and we make it positive. We make it good. This is possible, and scalar energy will be one of the tools that will improve our welfare.
So this is really a breakthrough. I know in May of 2013 you had the breakthrough with the herpes, and then August of 2013 you increased the power of the scalar instrument for the third time. So you're actually really working in the physics end of things.
Yes,
sounds like.
Yes,
yeah. And you work alone, or do you have a big team, or how does that? You have different people doing this for you, or you're just the one doing it?
I am the sole researcher. Sadly, there's not many people around the world that are now engaged in scalar energy research. So when I'm constructing these instruments, I work with a team of engineers. Everything has to be custom built, but I am the exclusive scalar energy researcher right now. And I don't say that with any pride, if you will. The world needs to get involved in this. I welcome people to embrace this healing energy and to participate. It doesn't make any sense for me to be one of the few scalar energy researchers in the world.
Right.
So hopefully that will change in the near future.
Well, I'm sure there are other people learning this as well under you.
I'm trying. Yes, I am teaching as many people as possible. But my point is this, Anita, the potential is so great. I've said this so many times. Scalar energy will have a greater impact upon mankind than that of the computer. So this industry, this new science will eclipse that of the computer industry. So with that said, I anticipate a broad-scale welcoming, if you will. I anticipate a global following soon.
So you're the various scientists, of course, Tesla, you mentioned already, the Tesla car that you've been inspired by, Moray and Priori and
yes.
Hieronymus?
Yes.
Those
are scalar energy researchers, great men in their own right. They inspired me. And all of those men had scalar energy instruments. Now, the dividing line, as far as I'm concerned, between theory and practice is you have to develop an instrument and you have to start applying this. You can only theorize so much. So those scientists that you just mentioned, all of those men had functioning scalar energy instruments, and all of them had great contributions to science by way of those instruments. So I'm continuing in that vein. I have instruments, and I'm working with those instruments to prove and to validate that scalar energy has so much potential. At the end of the day, Anita, you've got to prove it, and you have to show the benefits to mankind. So today I'm proving it, and I'm showing the benefits to mankind.
Now, I have a question about, number one, first I wanted to hear about Lyme disease and the pathogens added, something about pets. You're saying something about worms, parasites to the pathogen cleanse. Yeah. Lyme disease is more of a parasite in the body. People that, and what about pets? So first get into the Lyme. There's so much Lyme disease out there now.
Right. Many people who get a tick bite will come down with Lyme disease. There is a Lyme spirochete. It's a bacterium. We can easily destroy that Lyme spirochete. One of them is called Borrelia burgdorferi. We can easily destroy that spirochete as well as other germs, other pathogens that are carried by ticks and that are transmitted by a tick bite. So this is the beauty of scalar energy, to almost effortlessly break down germs inside the human body caused by tick bites. So I'll go on record, we have had great success with many people in being able to cure them of Lyme disease. And again, we do it by transmuting these germs inside the body. It's a painless procedure. You're simply negating the molecular bonds of a germ and then transmuting those bonds into smaller molecular forms.
So even when they are, using the scalar approach, do they still have to work with themselves in other health ways to continue to stay healthy? Of course.
Yes, of course. First and foremost, food is medicine. And if I were to have one tool in my shed, it would be nutrition. And I always encourage people, eat well. Do not eat processed food. Obviously, do not eat junk food. Try to live a clean lifestyle and eat, if you will, a plant-based diet. Try to eat plenty of vegetables and herbs and fruit. Right.
So they still have to, support what you're doing along with their healthy lifestyle. So you always have to support anything that is external from the human condition. So this will give a great balance, the homeostasis of the body, creating that balance, the sexual balance, integrating, and the emotions. How about mental illness, people that are faced with, say, depression?
Well, that goes back to the chakra balancing. So I go on record by saying the chakra balancing can help people with mental illness as well as sexual dysfunction. When our 7 chakras are balanced, when our brain is reprogrammed by scalar energy, that's what this intelligence does. Scalar energy can reprogram the 7 chakras as well as our brain waves. I have been able to help people with depression, with anxiety, with post-traumatic stress disorder, and so many different types of emotional and psychological problems. So I've always thought that our mind is controlled by a mechanism. That mechanism is scalar energy. That is, scalar energy, this light form, is responsible for our emotions, is responsible for our cognition, is responsible for our very brain waves. Well, when we're working with a high-powered scalar energy instrument, we can have a significant influence upon our brain waves and accordingly upon our emotion and our thinking and our memory. So the chakra balancing has a profound influence upon our thinking, upon our mood, upon our disposition to one another. Many people have gone on these programs have said the chakra balancing has made them more outgoing, more confident. That all speaks to the point that in some way we're changing their thinking, we're changing their brain waves.
And the chakra balancing can make them be more attracted to a lover. more
Yes.
intimate with their existing lover, with their
Yes.
beloved. So the chakra balancing is really, really important and, now if someone were to come to you and start to work with you, how often after, say, 15 sessions? Now, I know you're offering, what did you say? You're offering 15 sessions.
15 days of free scalar energy treatments. I'll provide the website if you want me to.
So 15 days of free scalar energy session. Now, should they come back to you every year or 2 years later or 5 years later? Is it that kind of thing, or is it just the one big shot of how many sessions they get, and then they're on their own?
We leave that up to the people. Some people like it so much that they will decide to treat themselves for 2 to 3 months at a time. Others will want to treat themselves for the free program, maybe once, and that's all they need. So I leave it, to answer your question, I leave it up to the people. But
they
most
can
people
come back a few years later. They can come back a few years later and start over again.
That's correct, yes.
So you're listening to an episode of Mindfulness, Sexuality, and Relationships. For anyone who is tuning in, I'm Anita DeFrancesco, founder of Tantra Wisdom. And today, my guest, we are speaking with Tom Paladino, who is the CEO and founder of Scalar Energy to the world. He is a researcher, and our topic today is we're talking about the libido and how we're affected by how the scalar energy and the libido work together in the chakras, how all of this transmutation of the pathogens quickly and painlessly moves through the body, right? Okay,
Yes.
Tom, there you are.
Thank you.
And Tom is offering 15 days of a free scalar energy session. And all you'll have to do is call the number at the end of the show, and you can start your session with Tom for 15 days. Is it 15 straight days or like once a week? Or
It's 15 consecutive days. And to make it easy, I'm going to provide the website so that anybody at their discretion, you don't have to call a number. The website is freescalar.net. That's SCALAR. Visit that website. It's open 24 hours a day, obviously. Freescalar.net. Anytime you want to visit that website, sign up. All we need is your photograph, a photograph of your skin, your anatomy, and the scalar energy sessions begin promptly.
So the photograph is of any part of the body or the full body?
Correct. Any part of the body. We don't need a full body shot. Some people, for instance, for privacy reasons, will only send a photograph of their hand. They don't want to show their face, which is fine by us. All I need is a photograph of some part of your skin.
Sounds like this gives people this shift within their energy or some positive, along with physiological. It attacks the physiological. Are we working with physiological here with this? Or?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It really is all encompassing. I would say that scalar energy, which is sunlight or starlight, has a profound influence upon the mind, body, and soul. So all dimensions, if you will, are included with these treatments.
How is scalar energy explain how scalar energy is the cause of time?
Scalar energy originates from the sun and the stars, and various physicists have come to the conclusion, as I have, that sunlight or starlight is the cause of time, specifically scalar energy. Now, scalar energy rotates, if you will. It's a double helix. And what we have observed inside the center of a star is many stars are timeless or immortal at the very center of a star. So scalar energy, a perfect scalar energy environment at the center of a star, will produce an environment in which it's outside of time, if you will. Now, when this sunlight is traveling throughout the universe, it's rotating in a certain direction, in a forward motion, if you will, and hence time moves forward. So the rotation of a scalar wave will allow time to move forward. If you were to reverse that rotation, time would move backwards. So scalar energy, from what we've observed from stellar activity, is a function of time. That is, time is is caused by scalar energy. Scalar energy is the cause, the effect is time.
So you're working with the natural organism of the earth, the sun, the stars, the water. That's something that the natural organism within the body that we're not enlightened about as far as the natural organism. We are energy and things of the sort, but when you connect it to the universe and you connect it to the sun and stars, and I always felt that the planets affect everything. You know, you have Mars when we have what is that when the Mars and the planets start to cross retrograde?
Retrograde, yes.
Yeah, so I feel that a lot of this is revolving around that center. That is correct? Yeah.
I would concur because the planets are receiving their influence from the stars. So this really gives us a greater understanding of the planetary influence, the cosmic influence. Everything in the universe starts with a light, which is scalar light. That is, all direction, if you will, all instructions are by way of scalar light, scalar energy. And once you have those instructions, then the universe will obey and follow suit. So the cause and effect is scalar energy. Scalar energy is the cause, the instructions for the universe. It's so important to realize that. Once we realize that light is the fundament that directs, that controls the universe, then we have a better understanding of us, the effect of light.
Yes, the light at the end of the tunnel, right? I understand what you're saying, the light, the sun, and the higher power lights. But, you know, I wanted to ask you about global warming. Does that have anything to do or play a role in this?
Global warming, in many ways, is our fault. It is established that the sea level is rising. We do see the planet warming, at least for a period of time. We can correct that, I believe, with scalar energy. Scalar energy can someday be used to take out the pollutants out of the sky. In other words, if we can transmute germs in the body, then eventually we can transmute air pollution. We can transmute air particulates in the air. So I would hope in the future, once we really understand scalar energy, can use it on a broad scale basis. We could use this for air pollution. We can clean up the air. And in some ways, we can stop that greenhouse effect that we are experiencing presently.
Well, you should get with Leonardo DiCaprio because he does a lot of environmental. He's working with the environment right now, and he has a big passion for this, of saving the environment and the planet. And something of what you're doing, you should collaborate with him, try to reach out to him. He has a website on this. And because I think that we're really just tapping the surface with this. Am I right with that? Or
we are. Scalar energy is the game changer. I go on record, it will change the world like no other invention, like no other technology. Scalar energy will have a greater impact upon mankind than that of the computer. Mark my word. And the reason I say that, it's so versatile and it's so easy to use. And most importantly, it's fundamental. Now, computers are instruments, they're inventions. It's not a fundamental primal force in nature. Scalar energy is the primal force in nature. Everything depends upon scalar energy. It's the first cause.
Amazing. We are speaking with Tom Paladino on the role of scalar energy and libido and the flow it affects and how it affects the libido. This is our topic today for those of you just tuning in. I just wanted to just touch on this testimony from, would I be able to read part of it, someone on HIV? Here's a testimony from one of Tom's clients. My experience is that I have been doing the scalar energy therapy for pathogens, nutrients, and chakra balance since April of 18, just 4 months. And for the first time in 5 years, I have tested non-detectable for HIV. This is very interesting, this testimony. Yes. For the last 5 years, it's been undetectable. There has always been a viral load. For the last 5 years, it has never been undetectable, he says. Never been. So since he started with you, just 4 months. So this is really enlightening. It's something that we are moving in the universe. There's just so much going on. And I'm so glad I found you. I don't even know where you have been. Are you on Facebook, or do you have a Facebook page on this?
Yes, thank you so much, Anita. We are on Facebook, but it takes a while for people to gravitate towards this. Yes, it's very real. What you just read was a testimony from a gentleman who had been HIV positive, and now he's been cured. We have destroyed the HIV virus. He had a diagnostic test that proves that he has no viral load. I know this person now by way of his medical history that he shared with me. So you would hope that this will now come to light, that people will realize that we have the easy cure for HIV infection.
Interesting. This is so wonderful. What an interesting topic. I don't have any other questions to ask you, Tom, but what else do you want to share before we wrap it up about this? Did I get all the questions in here?
You're a great interviewer. Thank you. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to speak on your program. I appreciate your time and your effort, and I would reach out to the audience and say, please research about scalar energy. Please open your minds to this. This technology will improve your lifestyle. Scalar energy will have a greater impact upon mankind than that of electricity or that of the computer. So I realize we are striving to improve our lives. We're striving to make this a better world. Scalar energy will be one of the tools that will catapult mankind forward. Please join our movement.
And where can, you're listening to an episode of Mindfulness, Sexuality, and Relationships. I'm your host, Anita DeFrancesco. We're talking to Tom Paladino on scalar energy and its role with the libido and different diseases of the body. Where can he is offering free 15-day scalar energy session for anyone who's listening to this program today. Where can we get you? CreativeStrength.us, or what was the other website you said?
Yeah. The website for the free program is freescalar.net. If you have any questions, you can call our support desk at area code 805-364-3051. Together, we will change the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this interview today, Tom. Tom Paladino has been my guest today. freescalar.net at 805-364-3051 for your free 15-day scalar energy session trial. It's worth a try for anyone who's listening to this program today, Mindfulness, Sexuality, Relationships. Anita DeFrancesco, your host. And you can find all of this interview on my website, Tantra Wisdom, and the group Facebook group pages, Tantra Wisdom being one of them, mine and others as well. Thank you so much, Tom. I want to thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
I enjoyed this interview. Thank you.
All right. We are closing. Thank you. Bye.